Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Relationships, and it's by user PornAttemptedFlop. I, 28 female, started making sexy videos for my boyfriend, 29 male and 2-year relationship. As a surprise, he found out and thinks I'm cheating. I never thought I would turn to the internet for relationship advice, but this is so humiliating I can't even bring myself to think about talking about this with a friend or whatever. I'm desperate here, Reddit, obviously a throwaway. So, a little backstory here. I am an attorney who is doing well enough in her career, huzzah, that I get to go appear at a flurry of expert and witness depositions for an upcoming trial on my own for the first time. It involves a 2-week traveling stint with lots of flights, driving, busy days, and exhausting nights. It's the first time I will be away from my boyfriend for longer than a day since we've gotten together, because, job things. I've known this was coming for months, and so did my boyfriend. We also live together and have done so for a little over a year now. I'm leaving next Monday. I decided that I wanted to do something a little special for my boyfriend. Let's call him, Logan. While he's been in night classes for the last few weeks, I took my laptop and phone and decided to make some sexy videos for him. We're both highly sexual people and very affectionate. I wanted to give him some intimate me material for him to have while I'm working, essentially incommunicado for 2 weeks. This was also potentially spawned due to the fact that I grew up sexually repressed and have just recently, within the last few months, learned how to really take care of myself. I am proud. I was excited about my authenticity. I'm being adventurous. I was working on video number 5, shower fun. I was doing my thing at 5:45 p.m. with plenty of time before Logan's lab let out at 8:30 p.m. I didn't hear the front door open, but Logan sure heard me making noise. His lab let out early. I left the bathroom door open to keep it from getting too steamy, so he rounded the corner and saw me, naked in front of the webcam doing my thing. Naturally, he freaked out and cried, "What are you doing?" I dropped what I was doing and slammed the laptop shut in fright, which I assumed made it look even more sketchy. He stormed out of the bathroom and down the hall, picked up his bag, ready to leave when I slid down the hallway in his tracks without even grabbing a towel. I told him to let me explain. It is in no way as bad as it looks. I wasn't camming with anyone. I was making videos for him. Logan shouted at me that it was the stupidest excuse he had ever heard. This response was just out of character for him. He's such a nice, calm, and loving man. We have had a perfect 2 years together and have never fought. Neither of us has raised our voices, and any disagreement we have had has been resolved swiftly with an actual adult conversation. Anyway, he stormed out of our apartment and I have yet to hear from him. I've tried calling and texting, leaving him crying and pleading voicemails to try to tell him what I was really doing, but he hasn't budged. I'm just sitting here at home terrified and I have no idea what to say or do at this point. Reddit, what in the hell do I do to fix this? P.S. I am sorry for any jumbledness. I am trying to make sense of this and I am quite distraught. I imagine words aren't exactly working for me right now. Wow, OP, this is a situation that just sucks all around, but it was nobody's fault. It was just one of those wrong time, wrong moment, wrong place, wrong everything, and it all just happened together. I think you need to send Logan one final message saying, hey, when you're ready to talk, let's talk, because I want to explain this whole thing and it's not as it seems and I've got everything to prove it. Then gather up all the videos, wait for him to cool down so he's able to talk to you with a calm head, and just show him everything you've done and the reasons for what you've done this. I mean, with the little amount of information that Logan had, his reaction is understandable. Maybe not the screaming, of course, but he was in a highly emotional state. He thought you were camming with somebody else. Of course he'd be distraught as well. And if your relationship is as good as you say it is, then he shouldn't have a problem believing you with the proper evidence. And what do you guys think, or what would you do if you were in OP's shoes? Let me know in the comment section what kind of advice you would give OP, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Drunker Clunker says, yikes, this is a tough one. I'm not sure there's any way to prove to him that you weren't being shady. On one hand, it would be nice if he trusted you enough to not jump to the worst conclusion, but I can see how catching you getting freaky in front of the laptop wouldn't look great. So crap, I don't know. Maybe offer to let him go through your phone and internet history and such, but even then he'll probably think, well, she just already deleted everything. Here's a question. Did you do anything in the videos that might indicate it was for him? Like saying his name, for instance? And OP responds, I can totally see why walking in on it and catching a snapshot of the situation can look really bad. He's never shown any indication of jealousy or distrust before. We're both very mellow and chill with each other. I truly don't blame him for his initial in-the-moment reaction. I'm going to go through the videos now to see if I've done anything like what you suggested. That's a great idea. I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now and I don't remember off the top of my head. I also just texted him, hey Logan, I know I've been flooding you with messages, but I'm really distraught about this and I don't want to lose you over this. This is the last message I'll send. I want you to be able to cool off and not feel pressured by me. Please believe me when I say that the videos, yes, videos, are for you. I've been secretly recording them for a few weeks now for you to have while I'm out of town for work. My Facebook information is X, my email password is X, my ATT info is X for him to check my phone records, and you are more than welcome to come get my laptop and view the history. I know this is ridiculous, but I am willing to do whatever it takes for you to believe me. Blightacular says, putting myself in his shoes, if I saw my significant other doing that, I'd assume the worst too. Just because it's OCams and sends nudes to other people is a ridiculously common thing. And it's just a recording for you as a surprise does sound like a first-line excuse. Surprises are nice, but in this case, not discussing it beforehand has made something innocent look identical to something very bad. Best thing to do is to try to calmly talk to him about it and prove, with whatever means you have, that it really was for him. Think carefully about what you do and say to avoid making you look like you feel guilty, because that will just, from his perspective, confirm his assertion. Apologize very specifically for scaring him like that and nothing else. Avoid accusing him of anything, because he'll be the one apologizing to you for his reaction of his own accord once he realizes and believes what happened. Agawa says, why doesn't he trust you? If I caught my significant other doing something like that, I wouldn't assume they were cheating on me. I would definitely be surprised and be like, what the F are you doing? But in a long-term relationship where I was comfortable with my significant other, cheating is not the first place I would go. In my relationships, we generally like to do nice things for each other. Flowers, surprise food, sexy lingerie, sexy pics, sexy videos isn't that far removed from any of those things. Hopefully your boyfriend comes back and is like, I totally overreacted because I had the worst day ever and I am so sorry. But if he doesn't, it seems to me that something is off. You guys gotta really talk this one out. I have no idea where he is coming from, but the main thing you need to get to is why he trusts you so little to immediately jump to the conclusion that you were cheating on him. Additional information from OP's comments. As far as I know, he's never been cheated on. I mean, I want to say no, he's never been cheated on, but he's never explicitly said that he hasn't been cheated on, so I can't say for sure. He has only had 2 other serious girlfriends prior to me, and the breakups have been over other issues. However, I definitely plan for it to be a discussion point I'll gently bring up later down the line if this blows over. And just to be clear, I would never do this for a partner I wasn't serious with, but we've talked about and began planning for marriage heavily over the last year, and he's never given me a reason to doubt him about anything. I've never really known him to have any insecurities beyond the occasional, I don't know, like quip at himself fleetingly. I have a MacBook, so the camera is built into the computer, so nothing is sitting on top or hooked to it. I presume he realized I was using the camera because he saw the screen coming in from the way the laptop was angled. I am more than willing to show him what I was working on, and that was one of my initial thoughts. However, I want to be able to set my laptop in front of him rather than send him the videos as suggested by some Redditors. The videos have an introduction, but it was not specifically, hey Logan, this is for you. I used pet names like sexy, baby, etc. And my slam the screen gut reaction was more so, oh my god, I don't want to spoil the surprise than anything, but I am absolutely not going to dispute the fact that it does look sketchy as F. Hindsight is 20/20 for sure here. They're probably all awkward videos anyways, but hey, I was definitely shooting for Coolest Girlfriend Ever award. Alright, well I guess my commentary was pretty much in line with what the community had said about, waiting to cool down and then talking to the boyfriend again. And OP gave us some more context. So now let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. It's been over 24 hours since this whole cluster F began, and I haven't really been able to reply all day. I'm blown away by the response from my original thread. I never expected so many comments with a variety of different perspectives. I started replying to more comments this evening, but I figured it would be easier to just update everyone at once. First, some frequently asked questions. Did you say his name in any of the videos? Did you have an introduction, or are you just awkwardly jumping into it? No firm name usage. I did have intros that used generic pet names, baby, sexy, and the like. Nothing specifically cements the fact that it was made for him. I did find something that stood out in one of my videos, more on that in a bit. How would he know you were on your webcam? I'm not sure how long he was standing there. I might have not seen him right away. Like I said in a comment, my laptop has a built-in camera, so there's nothing attached or plugged in. I can't say for certain, but I presume he saw the screen. My bathroom is set up weird where there are 2 entry doors. Why did you slam the laptop closed? My initial thought was, oh my god, I'll ruin the surprise. It was a gut reaction. It was stupid. I should have paused and reacted better. Are you being a sneaky lawyer and laying the bait expecting Logan to discover this thread? As far as I know, Logan doesn't actively use Reddit. He never mentions it, I never say, hey, check out this thing on Reddit, and he never does the same. I've never seen a flash of anything resembling Reddit if I happen to see his screen, so maybe he does use it and maybe he doesn't. I plan on deleting these posts fairly quickly because it's humiliating. Has Logan ever been cheated on? I can't say for certain. He's discussed his exes in the past, and the reasons for their breakup never specifically included cheating. He's never said he has, but he never said he hasn't. I'll follow up with this. Anyhow, here's how the last 24 hours have been. I went to bed last night tossing around the possibility of calling in sick the following day to throw myself a pity party. However, I ended up going to work today, but progressively felt worse throughout the morning as I did not receive any contact from Logan. However, as I mentioned in my previous post comments section, I texted Logan last night with what I perceived to be a very thoughtful explanation with login information to my social media, email, etc. I expected to be notified right away that someone logged into my Facebook and email, but the ping and text email never came. By about 11:45, I was feeling so awful that I was preparing to pack up and go home for the day. I received a call from the receptionist saying that I had to sign for a delivery from Jimmy John's right before noon. I was confused because I definitely didn't order any lunch. I asked her if she was sure it was for me and not for another attorney with the same first name as me, but she confirmed that it was for me and I came down to get my food. Sure enough, Jimmy John's for me. I tentatively tossed around the idea of texting Logan and saying thank you for the lunch, but debated on whether or not sending him another text was a wise idea. I went back upstairs, and by the time I got back to my desk, I already had a text myself from Logan. Hey, I'm sorry for my reaction last night. I should have heard you out instead of storming out like that. We've been together for 2 years, and you've never given me a reason to distrust you. I honestly think the videos are a little weird. I'm not sure why, it just doesn't sit right with me, although I appreciate the thought. I always love how you try to surprise me and show you care, but this is kind of a big thing. And OP says about herself, repressed sexual upbringing from pseudo-quiverful Christian parents. It didn't seem super relevant and I didn't want to drown the thread in detail. And I wish you would have talked to me about it. I want to hear your side of the story specifically now that I've had the time to think and process it. I shouldn't have taken the time to think in the way that I did, but I'm sure you're smart enough to know how this looks from my perspective. I'm really freaked out about the possibilities and just need some reassurance, I guess. I'll be home at 9 tonight and I don't want to talk about it right away. I just want to be with you. Can we talk about this tomorrow? And without regurgitating the entire conversation because it's innocuous fluff not relevant to the issue, just exchanging niceties, saying I love you, etc. I ended the conversation by thanking him for the lunch surprise. It was very sweet and I told him I would never do anything to hurt him and I look forward to working through this with him. This evening I went through the 2 videos I didn't watch last night. I tried going through them last night, but A, they're awkward as F in retrospect, so it was painful to watch knowing what I know now, and B, I just wanted to go to bed. The second video I ever made did have something distinct to Logan. I was wearing a pair of lingerie he bought me and said something like, "You still like these, right? Remember when you bought them for my birthday last year?" So when we talk tomorrow, I'll at least be able to show him that. I don't believe it's airtight by any means, but it's the second video, meaning it's old, showing I've been doing this for a few weeks. And I think, well, surely I can't make it worse. So that's where I'm at. I'm in Central Standard Time, so it's about 8:30ish now, so Logan will be home soon. I just wanted to update those that were following along, and it helped organize my thoughts too. Thank you to everyone who commented and provided me with perspective and advice, and occasionally laughed at my jokes. Well, OP, I consider this a happy ending. Logan was able to cool off and, then he talked to you, everything's in the clear and you guys are okay. So all the best in the future, OP, and thank you for sharing. Now, let's move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user A Stackhouse. Let me cut those hours for you. I was working as a manager for a small general store. When I started, I had another manager working nights with me. The general manager fired him for tying his shoe one night, claiming he was attempting to steal cash. Yes, this actually happened. I observed the audit on the store finances and saw the camera footage. All money was accounted for. The work fell on me to operate the entire store by myself. I often ran the entire store alone. I ran the register, put out nearly 1,000 crates of freight per week, and maintained the floor, which contained hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of merchandise at a single time. Crime and drugs in the area were rampant. Shoplifting happened on a nearly hourly basis. I was getting to the end of my rope after a tweaker broke into my office and stole my backpack. It had nearly $1,000 of stuff in it, and I had deteriorated so bad that tweakers were running into the store, loading up carts and running out. Soon after she fired the other manager, the general manager started getting really petty, finding really minor things to discipline me about. If a customer put a box of Skittles back in the wrong place, if I didn't find it, I would be disciplined. Then one day I was called into the back office to be disciplined. She was upset that I couldn't maintain the floor perfectly while simultaneously working the warehouse, the register, and doing the accounting. Turns out they had finally found a potential second manager after failing to hire anyone for a significant amount of time. This gave her and the district manager a power trip. I was no longer their last manager. So they threatened to cut my hours as punishment if I was unable to do hundreds of boxes worth of freight, run the register, prep the warehouse for tomorrow's delivery, fix the entire store, and do the accounting within the 8 hours I was scheduled. No overtime is permitted. I went back to the warehouse to think over my options and realized this new manager that they had hired wasn't even trained yet and had yet to demonstrate that he was even capable of performing the tasks. So I walked back into the office, handed the general manager my keys and said, "Bitch, let me cut those hours for you," and walked out. I called the guy I used to close with and he told me he now works for a pharmacy. He got me a job there in accounting within the week and I nearly tripled my income. The general managers were on salary, so with me leaving, the general manager would have had to work non-stop for 14 hours 7 days a week for no overtime. This was a common thing the company would do because staffing was such an issue, especially these days. I haven't been back, but my suspicion is this new manager they had found probably didn't last more than a few weeks. Well done, OP. Not only did you call their bluff, but you put him in a really tight spot and you get a better job with triple the income. So congratulations on the win, OP, and thank you for sharing. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.